Tom Taylor and Yasmin Putri get ready for war as our superpowered kingdoms begin shoring up their alliances with one another for the coming war, while Batman wrestles with the idea of having to tell Prince Cal that he is indeed his real brother. Tom Taylor takes us into the halfway mark of the fantasy series and doesn't let up on the great character drama and brilliant reveals, using this issue to set up some new alliances with characters and even reveal more great Game of Thrones-esque chess moves from some characters. I loved all the stuff with Zala and Diana, with Zala very clearly playing Diana for a fool and feigning that she has no idea what has been happening with Jefferson and his family and how she murdered them all and everything, and it's all lies and everything. This all leads to a huge reveal in the final few pages, with Cal turning on Bruce and citing him as a challenger to the throne now that he knows that Bruce is his brother, revealing that he too has been plotting some sort of takeover for some time now. This is such a brilliant swerve for a character you don't usually associate with someone who is craving and wanting and demanding power, but being this is an Elseworlds, you can have a Superman that wants that. The ending with Bruce pretty much going through Superman's classic origin and being found in a field by the Kents was just so genius, and I'm looking forward to what Taylor has in store for the Kents next issue, and what does become of Batman, who is now under the care of the Kents. How does that affect who he becomes as a hero? Yasmin Putri continues her wonderfully colourful artwork that works so damn well with all of these character focused pieces in this issue. The chaos and speed of Cal's attack against Bruce was so good and brutal that I kinda had to take a moment to see what was actually happening on the page because it was just so quick, as well as the finally beautifully painted look at the Kent farm on the final page, painted as this kind of place of warmth and welcome for the injured Bruce. Dark Knights of Steel issue 5 was another banger of an issue, shoring up many of the alliances for the coming battle and allowing characters to reveal certain secrets, all leading to a shocking and awesome final few pages that turn the entire series on its head. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Dark Knights of Steel issue 5 finds Cal meeting with Zala, surprised that she came home. Zala can't believe any of this, hearing of Jaw's death 2 days before. She apologizes for not coming straight home, lying and saying that she was searching for the Green Man. Cal knows she shouldn't have done that alone, but Zala knows that something had to be done, and their father deserves justice. Cal hugs his sister, knowing that justice will be done, as in Hob Forest, Harley Quinn is trapped by Poison Ivy, telling her that she was sent by the Queen, but Ivy doesn't recognize the Queen's power, wondering if the Batman still wants to imprison her. Harley knows he does, since that's his shtick, as she is thrown onto the ground. Ivy knows that Batman is just a scared man, as Harley explains what happened to the king and how the attack came from the forest, and because of it, General Waller wants to burn the entire place down. Ivy dares Waller to try, but Harley wants Ivy to help and use the forest as a line of defense for the kingdom. Pamela refuses to help the elves since she doesn't trust them, but she does trust Harley Quinn, so no danger will be allowed to go through the forest. Pamela, however, says that in return, she wants Harley to live in the forest with her, but Harley says that she's always happy for a visit, but Ivy has her world to protect and she has hers, and she needs to respect that. Ivy agrees to bury any would-be invader for the woman, saying that she would also bury an entire army for Harley Quinn. Harley finds that impressive, since not many people can be romantic and horrifying at the same time. Ivy soon senses something flying overhead, taking Harley up above the tree line as they spot Wonder Woman, knowing that they would be a problem. Ivy sends her tentacles out for the woman, knocking her from her flying Pegasus. Diana tells the Forest Witch to stand down, but Ivy refuses, causing Wonder Woman to rip a tree from its roots and use it as a club. Ivy refuses to let her harm the forest any further, using vines to ensnare Wonder Woman. Diana knows that the vines cannot harm her since she is the daughter of Amazonia. She manages to grab Ivy by the throat, telling her that she doesn't want violence, but she will crush the woman's face if she continues to attack. Ivy says that she can command fungus to rot inside Diana's brain, or for thorns to seed in her eyeballs. Harley steps between them, knowing they are both formidable, and she wants to know why Diana is there. Wonder Woman wants to see Zala since she has been accused of something that would tear their kingdoms apart. Cal and Zala soon arrive, asking what Zala has been accused of, demanding that Diana be released. Ivy thinks that Zala is too used to giving orders and having them followed, but Ivy releases them since Harley asks her nicely. Diana wishes to speak with Zala in private, heading to a nearby field where Diana reveals that King Jefferson Pierce is accusing her of killing his son. Zala says that she didn't murder a child, but Diana wonders why he would ever claim such a thing, and Zala knows it would be to win over allies like Hippolyta. Zala is surprised that Hippolyta does believe in the prophecy, but Diana knows that she believes in the Kingdom of Storms being their ally, and she cannot turn her back on them when the fighting begins. Zala thinks if a war is coming, then they need to make sure they are on the same side, knowing they cannot let their family split them apart since the world's going to need them together. Nightwing meanwhile meets with Alfred and Batman as they return to the castle, learning that they found the fallen star. Bruce asks where Prince Cal is, learning he's in the outskirts of the city. Alfred gives him the wrapped up kryptonite, knowing that it can wait till morning, but Bruce knows he might not have the nerve to wait any longer. Alfred tells Bruce not to be afraid since Cal loves him and they all do. Bruce meets with Cal, showing him the fallen star and how it might have come from Krypton. Bruce knows whomever took the rest of the comet tore the metal men apart, and luckily Alfred used some of Lead's armor to cover the shard and stop its effects. Cal asks how it was affecting Bruce, so Bruce finally reveals to Cal that they are brothers, having waited so long since he didn't want Cal to feel the same shame of what his father did. Suddenly Cal stabs Bruce with the kryptonite, grabbing him and speeding into the sky, telling Bruce that this is their world now and it's theirs to rule, and there can be no challenges. He throws Bruce hard into the ground, thinking him dead. Not long after Cal leaves, a farmer and his wife spot the smoke, heading to the area to find the Batman. The farmer finds Bruce barely breathing, but the woman knows they need to help. The farmer reminds her of the pain he has caused their people, but he still helps, ripping the man's armor off and spotting the kryptonite shard, thinking it's not doing him much harm, but the crystal seems to be poisoning him. The farmer pulls the shard out, and doing so causes Bruce to unleash a huge heat vision blast. The man knows that he's not what he's supposed to be, wanting to get him to the palace, but Bruce regains consciousness enough to scream no, not wanting to go there as he passes out again. The farmer, revealed to be Jonathan Kent, wonders what they are going to do, and Martha Kent knows they'll take him home since that's what they do with lost souls, loading him into their cart as they journey back to their small farm, with Jonathan lamenting how his wife's compassion will be the death of them one day.